Earlier in the week, we got an email that said there was going to be no Roots of War this week, but as you can see on my screen right now, this is clearly not correct because somehow we got queued up against a full alliance with only 4 people that we did not get to choose. So stick around to find out exactly what happened. Let's get it. Welcome back to CO Gaming, and today we are talking about Roots of War, and today was a Roots of War event for us that was not supposed to happen. So we got an email earlier in the week that said there was going to be no Roots of War this week due to all the server migration stuff. So we didn't expect it. Well, a few days ago when registration started, we somehow got queued up with just 4 people against 30 people. So in this video, we're going to see what happens. We're going to kind of go through some of the fight. There will be commentary at the beginning and a little at the end, but for the most part, we're just kind of pump into this. But let's just kind of jump right into this video, and we are ticking down just T-minus 30 seconds till it starts. This is going to be interesting. Clearly, the power is pretty even, right? 4 versus 30, so there's going to be no T5s here. And there's probably going to be very little T4s. And it just so happens that at least 2 of the 4 that got allowed to be queued up were 2 of the stronger players in our group. So this is probably going to end very badly for somebody. But here we go. We can enter. Of course, can't enter unless all your legions and stuff are back. So let's just do this. 2 minutes and 51 seconds till we get it. But we will jump right back to this when this timer ticks down. All right, so 5 seconds. Let's get it and just see how this goes. All right, so here we go. We're going to get our legions out of here. And let's just get these sets done. Let's get our marches going. Let's see what happens. I'm just kind of hoping with the 2 of us having T5s, we do actually have a few stronger T4 players in here that will actually give us a pretty decent fight. But I have this suspicious feeling that this is just not going to happen. But we're getting all of our marches set and going to get set out, hit march, and there's our first problem. So as you can see, it is not letting me march out at all. As you're going to figure out in this video here coming up pretty soon, that the actual only way that I can get out is by multi-marching random armies. It does, however, let me get my cav march out at one point. We're just going to kind of skip through the beginning of this video, because once I actually get a bunch of marches out, it really doesn't matter at that point. So let's just kind of fast forward through this video and till I get my first march out. So as you can tell, right here, we are restarting the game, trying to get this to work any way possible, but unfortunately, it does not work. At least for a little bit longer. This takes forever to actually get any marches out. And if I would have known that I could have just multi-marched and come out, I would have done it long before that. But still, you have deployed the maximum amount of legions, and I have nothing out. Luckily for us, we did, however, get the other T5 player that's in here out, and one of the higher end T4 guys that is with us out. They were able to get marches onto the field, and as you can see, they are just kind of pumping through things while I'm sitting back doing absolutely nothing. But we're going to continue to roll through this video. Catch you when we get some action.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true. I'm just as surprised as you. Is this really happening? I can't be too sure, but one day I'll be yours again.
So right here, I literally tried to switch to my phone to see if I could get it to work. And maybe like my PC was just like bugging out. But unfortunately, it still doesn't help at all. So it's just what it is. I guess theoretically, we was not supposed to be in here anyway. And this was just penance for showing up. So we're restarting the game one more time because we had to log back in. And then we will be ever so closer to actually getting out of our base. At least with one march, we will be closer to getting out of our base. As I say, as you can tell, when we jump back in here, you're going to see that, the score is generally going in their favor at this point. Like, yeah, we're putting some points up on the board, but like it's nothing just insane. That at this point, 10 minutes into the match, we're like, okay, well, if I can't get out of my base, then this is just not going to work because two people just absolutely couldn't control the whole map. Because at that point, then all they had to do was actually get the stone, the stone all 3 times and take it back, or acquire all the buildings and they were going to win. So it became ever so more important for me to get out of my base at some point if it would just let me do it. And then, of course, it's just kind of the way it goes. Was nothing we could do about it. The game did what it did. But at the end of the day, it does let me out here in a few minutes. I can tell you that much. And then they summon a bear. And let me tell you, dealing with friggin' behemoths with just 3 people is definitely interesting. It's not something I ever exactly expected to have to do, if I'm being honest, to deal with a behemoth with just 3 people on a map. Like, it was the most insane thing ever. But that being said, it's just, we weren't supposed to be here. This is nuts. Not supposed to be in this thing. The email said, no Roots of War.
So high I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right.
At this point, when we kind of decided that we were just going to let the 2 of them that was out there just go to the different towers and buildings and just try to acquire them, just to get their points total down to give us an actual chance to win. And then Leo is just pretty much going to sit there and try to take the stone back every time it popped up and make sure he had a march, because they could not beat him. Like, they just pretty much just melted off of him with his, artifacts and just his heroes and, T5s. Like, there was no beating him, right? They could have brought the entire group and fought him and he probably wouldn't have died. Like, it never actually happened. But even if it had have, it would have been insane. So that's pretty much like what we did here, is we started to just tick away at their 560, and then it just keeps dropping to a point to where we take every tower, or at least as many as possible. At least the 2 of them do, until I can get out of my base. At this point, we're pretty convinced that like it's just not gonna happen. I'm not gonna make it out of my base. There was no reason of expecting me to make it out of my base at this point. So this is pretty much just kind of where we was and it was the best chance to win was to just get our points total higher than them, and then just try to get the stone every time, which we were pretty convinced that we could actually do. Uh, that was just kind of the strategy we came up with. It was kind of the strategy going into this as well, was we had a plan to just send each one of us send 3 of our marches to go to a tower, and then, you know, basically all of us just kind of walk around fighting stuff and making sure we get the stone every time. But didn't quite happen that way with me not being able to get out of my base. And of course, Deuce Man went back and with this cav march, and he couldn't come out. But as you can tell at this point, it actually let me get my cav march out. And then a little bit later is when we figure out if you just multi-march, you can come out. Deuce actually figured it out, so that's how we get the rest of them out. Unfortunately, I forgot to have my presets, so it just marched a bunch of random. But we're just gonna kind of go ahead and just let you watch the rest of this fight. It's just us pretty much taking buildings and trying to make a comeback, getting the stone, and let you kind of be the judge. And also drop some comments below on this crazy nonsense with us not supposed to be having roots this week and actually getting to do it. And then we didn't actually select anybody. We never selected a single person to go into this because we were under the assumption that there was no roots. And they just auto queued up 4 of us. Of course, one guy couldn't actually make it. That wasn't going to be going to roots this week anyway. But we're just going to kind of let you watch the rest of the way through this, and I will check you at the end of the video. So that brings us to the end of this, and we kind of found out some information towards the end of this fight that kind of broke our hearts a little bit. So it turns out that this was the first Roots of War that this group had ever got to play in. They are from a brand new server, and we kind of felt like some bullies, not gonna lie. It was definitely not a good feeling, but we went ahead and let them take some towers, try to get as many points as they could, but unfortunately it really was a little too late. We won this by quite a lot of points, and they really just didn't get to kill us. And it's hard to get those points until you kill, but as you see, there's the victory. Um, it is what it is. All I can say is, devs, you got to fix this. You can't send out an email telling people that there's going to be no roots, and then you give us a roots. Like, get your act together, you know? Like, get it right. Make sure it is what it is, and that be that. But with that being said, we're going to wrap this video up, and I appreciate everybody for watching. If you don't mind, smashing that like button and hitting subscribe if you enjoy my content. Until next time, CO out.